Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Raha Akodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and the elect. I'm Ari Azabak out of the GMS Dallas camp. I'm going to entitle this lesson here, The Elect Rejoicing. All right. It's important to understand that the times that we're living in, Jake is catching a lot of hell, out here via, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are the true Hebrew Israelites that's walking this earth today, okay? And, 2/3 of our people are not going to take heed. But the elect, they're going to, come out rejoicing, because we understand, Lord willing, when we those men and women that, we're going to have to endure, these times, these prophecies, that are pretty much here. You have the ICE, locking up the Northern Kingdom, okay? And then you also have the Southern Kingdom, Jake, thinking that everything is all good. But, who you think is next, Jake? Okay? So, we pretty much here at the door of Jacob's trouble. All it's gonna take is for a little event here and there, and this thing is gonna start rolling. Nevertheless, the elect, the watchmen, we're seeing what's going on and what Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is doing. Okay, we're not falling for his snares that he have set up, and his wicked devices. We see what he's doing, okay? So let's go ahead and open this up with Zephaniah. Let's get that real quick. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, and I'll start from verse 8, and it reads, "Therefore wait ye upon me, said Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation," which is his righteous anger, okay? "Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy," all right? And it's because what the nations have done to the nation of Israel, okay? Out of the heathen nations, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, all right? But the point is in verse 9, and it reads, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh, to serve him with one consent." And that's where the rejoicing has started with our people, okay? Knowing the names, the true names. His name is not Jesus Christ, That's that rhetoric, that false image that, these Edomites were pushing when we were in slavery, okay? Throughout the earth, because they knew, according to prophecy, that we were going to wake up. And that's why they didn't want us reading, okay? But according to Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, the vision of the valley of the dry bones, there was going to be a restoration in Israel, according to 36th chapter in Ezekiel, okay? So Ezekiel gave that vision, right, about our people, coming back, and that's starting with the elect, all right? So verse 9 again, it reads, "For then will I turn to the people a pure language," and that's starting with the correct names of Yahweh. His name is not God. His name is Yahweh, which means he exists, he is, okay? And his son name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves, he delivers, all right? So, and this is where the world is being turned upside down right now, because our people are waking up. This great awakening that's taking place, and the prophets are here, so the word is going out, and there's rejoicing, and there's power in the name, okay? And let's get that in Ecclesiasticus. That's power in the name when you speak it in Hebrew, all right? This is Ecclesiasticus 1:1, and this is the prelude of the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, the son of Sirach, all right? We're going to go on down here where it reads, for the same things. And it reads, for the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books, okay? So that's a big difference when you don't, look up the words in Hebrew, some in the Greek and Latin to get the true understanding of what the scripture is saying, according to the context of the Bible, all right? So when we call on the name Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, hey, we calling on the correct names, all right? And that's where it starts. That's that new song that's being sung, through Yahweh Shai's death, burial, and resurrection, okay? But the chosen and elect are going to be the only ones, that's rejoicing, at the end of the day, okay? So let's go ahead and get Isaiah the 12th chapter, all right? And it reads, and in that day thou shalt say, O Yahweh, I will praise thee. Though thou wast angry with me, thine anger is turned away, and thou comfortest me. All right. And that was after, because we had, moved the Most High, to jealousy. We kindled his anger. All right. That according to Jeremiah 17:4, we broke the law, statutes, and commandment, start, fornicating with other gods. Okay. Want to be like the heathen. So the scripture is just letting us know that, hey, his anger was turned away from Israel. And that's starting with the remnant, the chosen and the elect, after being delivered, okay? Verse 2, and it reads, behold, the Most High is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid, for the Lord Yahweh is my strength and my song. He also is become my salvation, and that's given, the Israelites, starting with the chosen and the elect, the victory, okay? So this is the reason why we can rejoice, and, we also, being joyful for delivering us, and this is what Yahweh Shai is coming back to do, is to deliver his people, which are the Israelites, starting with the 144,000 in the great multitude. Verse 3, and it reads, therefore, with joy shall you draw water out of the wells of salvation. Okay. And, this is, like a metaphor, right? And, it's pretty much saying, we would be able to draw, from that fountain freely, which is that salvation. We get to drink of those and draw from those waters without waking up, being fearful and being in captivity. We're being delivered. Okay. We'll be in our holy land. Okay. All right. Verse 4, and it reads, and in that day shall you say, praise Yahweh, call upon his name. All right. And it's important to have his name. So the scripture wouldn't tell you to call upon his name if he didn't have a name, IUIC, okay? And you, Old Testament Israelites, his name is Yahweh, okay? Call upon his name, declare his doing among the people. What people? The nation of Israel, okay? Make mention that his name is exalted, all right? You see? And what's that precept? Let's go grab it real quick. I think it's in John. Let me grab that real quick. All right. All right. This is John chapter 12 and verse 32, and it reads, and I, this is Yahushua speaking, and I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men unto me. Okay? All right? So this is why his name should be lifted up. All right? So we're going to read that again. Make mention that his name is exalted, because that's what he's going to do, is draw all the nation of Israel unto him, starting with the chosen and the elect. Okay? Verse 5, and it reads, sing unto the Lord Yahweh, for he had done excellent things. This is Salakia, verse 5. Sing unto Yahweh, for he had done excellent things. This is known in all the earth. Right, because he's going to take down these heathen nations and deliver his people. That's going to be destruction that's coming toward this place, all right? And that's why, 2/3 of our people, they're gonna perish this go around. They're gonna have to come back in the kingdom through the chosen and the elect. All right, because that's gonna be the new thing to talk about. The old deliverance when it come to Egypt. With the Red Sea and Moses, that deliverance was great. But this one here is going to be way times greater. Okay? This is going to be the new news to talk about. All right? Verse 6, and it reads, cry out and shout, thou inhabitants of Zion, for great is the Holy One of Israel in the midst of thee. All right? So, from that deliverance and salvation, this is what we're going to be doing, is crying out, and this is, we're people before it's a place. It's talking about the Israelites, Jerusalem. All right. We'll be back in our holy land, having the heathens in subjection unto us. Okay. We'll be in our heaven and they will be in hell, which is in a low condition. All right. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying with, the chosen and the elect rejoicing. And with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have taught us this truth and rule well. Peace and salutations to the chosen and elect. Shalom.